What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. If it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. This is Men's Advice Network, where I give you guys tips and advice. I answer you guys' questions on anything related to being a man. It's an open discussion for men. So if you have any questions, be sure to submit them in the comment section below and hit that subscribe button to join this growing community. Anyways, this is going to be an extremely important video topic today. We're talking about turning an addiction, something horrible, which we all struggled with, into power. And I'm gonna give you guys 5 effective ways that you can use starting right now after watching this video. If you're taking notes, take notes on these things of how you can turn something that's a hindrance into something that will give you prosperity and something that's life affirming. Because addiction does lead to decay, it leads to death. It's just a horrible, horrible experience for not only you, but for all the people around you. You have to deal with it as well, your friends, your family, and they just see you wither away and deteriorate. And it's just a terrible thing. Me personally, I've dealt with a lot of different addictions. We won't get into too many of them, but a lot of it was dealing with women. I was addicted to intimacy. I was addicted to weed a little bit at a certain point. I used to smoke those little vape pens, the flumes. I used to be addicted to that. And what else? The websites, looking at images and videos I shouldn't have watched and playing with it. You know what I mean? So I've dealt with a lot of different things. This is why I'm speaking from experience. I want this to be a very open channel where we talk about these things, because you're not alone on your journey, and don't let anyone try to shame you for being open and honest about things that us men we deal with, that we usually feel like we can't talk to anyone else about because we're supposed to be men and we're supposed to just hold it inside. So before we dive into this video, man, all of that judgment, anything like, oh, that's beta, that's blue pill, that's you're soft as hell for talking about that, we're throwing that out the window. All right, we're talking about real issues here, and this is a serious topic of addiction. So no further ado, that's enough of me rambling. We're going to talk about the first thing you can do in order to battle addiction. The first thing you can do in order to turn your addiction into power is to, whenever an addiction pops up into your mind, you take the money you would have spent on that addiction. So for me, what I did, I was addicted to flumes, and I did this. Every time I wanted to buy a flume, it was like 30 bucks, 25 bucks. I would take that money and I would buy a little bit of Bitcoin, or I would buy some ashwagandha, or I would buy something else that's healthier, that's a healthy alternative to that. That's something that's life affirming, something that will bring me prosperity in the future. Instead of killing myself, it's giving me life. So the ashwagandha would relax me, and it's organic. And I'll make a video on that later on if you guys are interested in different herbs and supplements that you guys should be trying out in order to relieve stress and to maximize the results you get in your day. That's definitely at the top of the list. But yeah, that's the first thing I would do. So I would invest that money. I would invest the money I would use for flumes and for nicotine into something healthy that will ultimately benefit me in the long run. The next thing you guys want to do is to visualize yourself completely free from whatever addiction it is that's hindering your life. Okay. So what I did and what helped me a lot is I would affirm that whatever addiction it was, like if it would pop up into my head to like watch websites or like to beat, you know what, and play with that, I would tell myself in my mind, and I would say it out loud even if no one was around, it wasn't sounding crazy. I would tell myself, you are free from, and then fill in the blank, fapping. You're free from watching these websites. You're free from smoking this pen. You're free from whatever it is. Insert blank there, whatever your addiction is. Say it to yourself, I'm free from this. It has no control over my life. And I release, insert addiction here, forever. You have to give it up. And you have to remind yourself, you have to tell your mind, your subconscious mind, that you're releasing it. That is, it's gone, it's free. It's no longer a hindrance to you, and it no longer can affect you. And over time, this is a very, very effective strategy. Whenever a trigger popped up into my mind when I was dealing with lust, like a baddie would walk by or something, she looking good or whatever, and I was like, damn, like she looks fine. Because especially nowadays with all the liberation, man, like these women are barely wearing anything. And I used to struggle with that personally as a guy, as a man. You know, you guys watching, you know what I'm talking about. but you don't want to fixate on it. So like, yeah, like I would acknowledge she would look good or whatever. And then what I would have to do is tell myself like, okay, she looked fine, whatever, I'm releasing it and it doesn't control my life anymore. On to the next thing, bounce my eyes, I'm moving on, okay? You can't, like, you start to fall back into that temptation when you begin to meditate and really think about like all the curvatures of her body and how she was looking, what she was wearing, the cleavage, all these different things, you know what I mean? So just don't entertain those things. Just boom, trigger happens. You know what your triggers are individually. Maybe you see someone smoking weed and it triggers you, and that was your addiction. Boom, you see it. You know it's a trigger. Affirm that you're over it and it has no control over your life right then and there. Say it in your mind if you're around people, or if you don't give a damn. We'll talk about that later. Not giving a damn on this channel, because that's a part of masculinity. Not giving a damn. Then you can just say it out loud, and whoever hears it just thinks you're crazy, and who cares? You'll never see them again. The third thing you can do is avoid triggers at all costs. We as humans, the way we were designed is, unfortunately, and actually in a good way, if you look at it in a good way, I should look at it in a more positive way. We are chameleons of our environment, the people we're around, the societies we live in, our surroundings, the buildings we live in, even the neighborhoods we live in. We are chameleons of those things. So if you are constantly around people, let's say you're dealing with smoking weed, like you're dealing with an addiction of weed, like I was, and lust, bro, I was on the men's basketball team at 3 different colleges, bro. And let me tell you, that was not a conducive environment for me to stop my addictions to all of those things I was struggling with. In fact, even when I tried to stop because of the environment I was around, I still gave eventually into that temptation, because the people who were around me, unfortunately, I wasn't strong enough to resist. You could call it beta, you could call it blue pill, you could say that I should have been stronger as a man or whatever. But when you're around an environment like that, it's very difficult to continue to say no, especially with something that you've enjoyed in the past and that comes to you as a form of pleasure. And you know, it's a stress release. I used it to release stress, and I used it as a way to crutch my purpose, because I didn't have a purpose at the time. So instead of working towards my purpose and using that desire and that energy towards something life affirming, I was using it to, you know, just do careless things, let's just say. But on the flip side, if you surround yourself with healthy, life affirming things and environments, then you yourself will become more life affirming, and you will begin to chameleon that environment and things that are healthy and good for you. So that's what I encourage you guys to do. But in the meantime, you want to be aware of the environment you're in currently. If you're dealing with an addiction, is that environment or the people you're around leading you to fall into that temptation again? Ask yourself that. You got to show yourself some love sometimes. Sometimes when you're too hard on yourself, it feels like you can never do anything right. You're constantly just going to fall back into the temptation of the vice and the addiction, and it has total control over you. And ultimately, when you beat yourself up for falling back into temptation, because sometimes, you know, we're not always perfect. This is a long life that we live, God willing, for all of us. But we have a lot of days ahead of us where we're going to deal with that temptation every single day. And we're not always going to be perfect. But when you beat yourself up about it over and over again, what that does is it makes you feel defeated. And then that defeatist mindset eventually will make you feel like, oh, there's no point of even trying. No matter what I do, nothing's going to work out for me. I can't beat this addiction. It has too much power, too much control. I surrender, I quit, whatever. And then you go back and you stumble, and then you feel even worse again once you do it. And then the cycle repeats itself. And then you got to build up the mindset again to try to beat the addiction. And then sometimes it just never ends. And that's when people give in to their vices fully, and we see what happens to them. So I kind of went on a rant there, but the gist of it is just don't be too hard on yourself, okay? And that ties into my next point, which is surround yourself with a support group of people that are also going to hold you accountable towards whatever addiction it is that you're dealing with. A group of friends, maybe you go to an AA meeting or something like that if you're an alcoholic or you're dealing with other things, other issues. There's groups organized even online nowadays with webcams, with just chat rooms, Discord. Someone typed that in the comments. I need to check that out. Discord is also available, where I guess you can have personal conversations with other people and you can bounce ideas back and forth. This channel itself is supposed to, that's what the goal of this channel was supposed to be, where we can help each other through being a man and growing up, right? And in order to do that, no one has all the answers and infinite answers here in this world, okay? So what we can do is trial and error and then bounce ideas, and the things that we've tried and we haven't succeeded at, or the things that we've succeeded at, or the things that we haven't succeeded at, and then bring it back to the group, bounce ideas off each other again, and then learn from each other's mistakes. But in order to do that, it's best to have a group that holds each other accountable, that says, hey man, like, I was struggling with this today. What are some steps what are something that you did in order to overcome this addiction or this issue? Does anyone else deal with this? Or, oh bro, I dealt with this too. This is what I did. Then that person gives their tips to that person that's struggling. You get what I mean? I always go on these tangents. You guys get what I'm saying. A support group is essential. And like I said earlier, you're a chameleon of your environment. So if you're in a group of people that want to change, that want to improve, you're going to want to surround yourself with those types of people in order to build a closer bond so that y'all can level up together. The next bullet point I have for you guys, and this honestly could have been at number 1, but you guys at the end, you're getting a treat if you stuck around to the end of the video, is to pray. This is probably the most important thing. Honestly, in my opinion, it is the most important thing. I don't know why I said probably. It definitely is. You're building that habit of not only speaking to your subconscious, but you're speaking to God and affirming that, you know what, whatever I'm struggling with, whatever I'm dealing with, I need help. I know it's a problem and I want to improve and I want to change. There's nothing beta about praying. You want to go to a quiet place and really just, whether it's in a closet, I've done it in this closet before. You guys can't tell it's a closet. There's a door over there. I go in that closet sometimes, turn off all the lights, and I sit in this chair right here, and I'll just clear my mind and really just try to pray for whatever it is that I need to overcome. And there's a lot of different things that I struggled with, that I still struggle with, that I need to pray for. And there's nothing beta about doing it. So if anyone says like, oh, like you're a man and you're praying and like you're submitting to God. Yes, I submit to God. I submit to a higher authority, the Most High God. And I'm not ashamed to say that. And no one's perfect. We all need to be held accountable by a higher power. And you can't do everything in this life by yourself. So you need to rely upon the spiritual world as well in order to play with a full deck of cards in this twisted game of life that we're playing in order to have your chess pieces make the right move so you can win at this chess game. So those were 6 ways that you guys can instantly turn your addiction into power. Please be sure to drop a like on this video if you learned anything, you want to support content like this. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss any more videos, and comment below what video I should do next, what you guys thought about this video, and realize that no question's too big or too small. I'm here to help you guys. I understand it's difficult to be a man in this modern crazy era that we live in, where men get shamed for a lot of different things. I'm here to encourage you guys. I'm here to be here as a friend, and that's what my purpose is. So don't be afraid to ask. If you need to email me, if you need to do whatever it is privately to contact me, if you don't want to leave it in the comment section below, feel free to do that. I hope this video blesses someone out there. Please apply these things, and I guarantee you it will help you overcome your addiction, whatever it is. I'm praying for you as well. Have a blessed rest of your day. Peace. I'm gone. Have a good one, guys.